If you love scandals and drama, you probably love the show Shameless. But today, we're not going to talk about the fictional events which occurred during the program. Instead, we're going to talk about the strangeness that is happening with the cast and crew. Before we start talking about what the cast of Shameless is up to, make sure to click the subscribe button for more from TheTalko. Let's begin. It's not unusual for actors to occasionally leave even long-running and successful shows. After all, Andrew Lincoln ended up leaving The Walking Dead so he could spend more time with his family. And Lauren Cohen left the same show to focus on different projects. But when it comes to Shameless, it seems there has been a mass exodus lately. Not only are some of our favorite cast members leaving, but they're being vague on the details surrounding the reason for departure. Could there be something going on behind the scenes that is causing everyone to want to leave the show? Emmy Rossum has been on the show Shameless since it began 9 seasons ago. She plays the role of Fiona, the eldest Gallagher sibling and arguably the main character of the entire show. Fiona had been an integral part of Shameless for so long that it's hard to imagine the show without her at this point. When announcing her departure, she made a social media post in which she describes her time on the show as a privilege and sounds rather emotional about the prospect of leaving. Rossum wrote that not only was she close with the cast and crew, but she enjoyed the consistency of performing in a serialized television show. She claimed that it was the strong relationships she forged with her friends on set, including showrunner John Wells and Showtime president and CEO David Nevins. So if Emmy Rossum was happy on the show, what caused her to leave after all of this time? We know that back in 2016, productions on the show stalled because of salary negotiations. Rossum was getting paid less than co-star William H. Macy, despite having way more screen time. Even Macy was supportive of Rossum's situation and backed her 100%. Although Rossum ended up getting the raise she wanted eventually, we can't imagine the situation was enjoyable. Could it be possible this soured her experience with working on Shameless or made her feel unappreciated? Maybe she felt she wasn't treated with enough respect as an actress and decided it was time to move on. Emmy Rossum isn't the only star making an exit from Shameless. Cameron Monaghan has been playing Ian Gallagher for almost a decade, but he too has declared he will be leaving. His announcement was sudden and came as a huge shock to fans. Monaghan admitted he had been planning to leave for a while, but held back on the announcement in order not to spoil plot points for fans. According to his Instagram post, he started out on the show when he was only 15 years old and spent a long time growing with the cast and crew. Although he calls himself lucky for being a part of the Shameless cast, he has decided it's time to move into new things. Monaghan finished up his post by adding that all good things come to an end. After Emmy Rossum's tricky salary negotiation situation and Cameron Monaghan's abrupt departure, fans have been wondering just what is going on backstage at Shameless. There have been other scandals involving cast members of the show as well, including a lawsuit levied against Steve Howey. In 2016, when Rossum was going through her ordeal, Steve Howey and his wife, Sarah Shahi, were allegedly abusing their former nanny. According to a lawsuit levied against the couple, both husband and wife were harassing her and abusing her for being Muslim. The now former nanny claimed she was verbally abused by the couple and thus couldn't even get through her daily prayers. According to the lawsuit, the abuse took place over the course of 3 grueling years, and the nanny sued the couple for harassment and lost wages. It's clear that there is something going on with the cast members of Shameless, but there might also be an issue with the show itself. There are a ton of moving parts in the show, so saying things are a bit complicated is something of an understatement. But in the past few seasons, even the most die-hard fans have started to criticize one aspect of the show. It seems as if Shameless has been attempting to rewrite its own history. One example of this is the relationship between Ian and Mickey. Sure, they had to rewrite it due to Noel Fisher leaving the show, but they didn't have to completely rewrite their entire relationship. They made it seem as if their romance had always been destructive, which is not how fans remembered it. Now, comic books are sometimes guilty of this kind of retconning, but they also span decades and have tons of different writers and artists. Pulling this kind of thing on a serialized television show just seems like poor foresight or bad writing. We know this show is kind of like a soap opera, but we were disappointed to learn it's not above this type of things. Shameless has been around for a long time, and as long as it keeps doing well in the ratings, it seems as if there is no end in sight. While this might sound like a good thing for fans of the series, it ultimately means a significant challenge to the writers. It can be hard to keep things going over a certain period of time when you have no idea what the conclusion will be to the show or when it's going to happen. Instead, the writers need to keep everything both open-ended and poised to come to a conclusion. Ultimately, this means the show isn't able to fully take advantage of the backstory it's built up over years and years. And it takes all present events and decisions and makes them ultimately a lot less meaningful, knowing they could change in an instant. The cast of Shameless must sense this sort of scattered vision even more acutely than we do. And isn't it better to quit while things are ahead instead of waiting until the show begins to sink? It's possible that Emmy Rossum and Cameron Monaghan decided to leave on a high note instead of waiting for the show to decline even further in quality. We wonder who will be the next person to take their leave from Shameless. What do you think is going on behind the scenes of Shameless? Is there something larger at play? Or is this recent departure just a coincidence? Let us know what you think in the comment section, and then click on the subscribe button for more of The Taco. Bye for now.